Down and in sports. Official.
Just in the nick of time. Slid in the door, came in like my man from the Five Heartbeats.
Hey, right, right.
What's good, Browski? What's good? What's good? What's good? Listen, I thought
Oh
today
man,
was the
nothing
day
much.
you. I thought today was the day you was getting your doing your situation. But then I was
Next
like,
week.
why was I thinking? Why did I keep thinking December 3rd? So all right, that's what's up. Browski's in the building in full regalia. I see you. I see you. I see you. We gonna get into it early. Um,
Yes.
I was prepared to rock out, but you already know Browski comes through. Rain, sleet, hail, or snow. Browski's in the building, live on the show. Down in Sports Talk in the building. Let's get it. Let's get it
Down
cracking.
and
Let's go.
in
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
sports.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
Official.
go. Browski, I'm gonna let you
Nope.
set it off because again, at the end of the day, every word that you utter, every verb, every noun, every consonant is like a twist in the knife in the back of Giants fans. And as a non-participant in y'all situation, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So again, here's your spot. Speak to it. I know you know, and go in. Please go in because the Giants fans is making up wild excuses right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know what's so crazy too? Um, the Giants organization are so terrible that they went after um the female reporter on ESPN for
Molly Querom,
yeah, yeah,
right?
no, not Molly, the black chick.
The black
Uh, was it L Duncan?
L Duncan. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
L
L Duncan. Right,
Duncan.
right, 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 right.
They went after her for reporting on how terrible their organization is. And it wasn't like she was telling a lie, and it wasn't like she was slandering them. She was basically saying the same thing that all the other male reporters has been saying since the beginning of the season, since the first game when Saquon went off on the Packers for 3 touchdowns. You know, they've been going off on them, ever since the Hard Knock episode came out, and you see them, saying, "Oh, he wouldn't be able to sleep at night if Saquon goes to the Eagles." Well, I know that he has a bunch of sleepless nights because Saquon is killing it, for the Eagles, and everybody in the Giants organization should be fired. Plain and simple, they should all be fired. Um, Starting from the GM down to the scout team because it's ridiculous. They had several occasions to save their own organization. They didn't have to sign Daniel Jones to that contract. They could have franchise tagged that guy and drafted one of these kids that came out last year. You had 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you could have drafted, but instead you drafted a wide receiver for what? When we knew that the problem that you had was with Daniel Jones. And then you let a guy who was about 75 to 80% of your offense go down 95 to a winning organization. And also, I want to um, speak to Nick Wright, who in the beginning of the season, in the off season, he talked mad trash about the Eagles. Oh, it's a mistake for them to sign Saquon. We need to focus on our defense. Our defense was trash. Why are we overpaying Saquon? And then for him to turn around this week on his show and have an Eagles jersey on and saying, "Oh, I'm 100% behind the Eagles," all this like Nick Wright, like you were just trashing us a couple months ago. Every day on your show, you trashing us. But now you gotta change your heart, and now you pro Eagles. You wearing Eagles jersey, Eagles hat on your show. Like get this clown out of here. Like Nick Wright is a clown. Um, I used to kind of like some of his views, but it seemed like the longer his hair got, the more hot takes he started doing, and he's like extremely biased to the Chiefs. It's like he don't see any wrong with the Chiefs, which is crazy to me. But you know, going back to my Eagles, went to LA, smashed the Rams. The fact that people was looking at this game as a pick'em game was ridiculous to me because I'm like, where do you see the Rams anywhere on the same level as the Eagles?
Right.
Nowhere at all. Okay, um, we went in there. The first half it was a little slow here and there, but the defense was still picking up. We held them to 7 points in the first half, and then the second half came out, and it was the Saquon Barkley show. What people don't realize with Saquon is, in the first half, he softened up the defensive line, and so is our offensive line, so that when the second half comes, it's just pure domination. They couldn't they couldn't win at the line of scrimmage. My guys was out there pancaking them. Um, Kellen Moore with the different run schemes. Also, Jeff Stockman, who runs the running game along with being the offensive line coach. It was crazy. The running game was out of control. Also, I like the fact that AJ Brown, did his thing. I was calling for him to have a nice game, at least with a touchdown, and I got that from him. And at the end of the day, Saquon had 300 all-purpose yards. He had more yards than the Giants had in their game. So this this goes to show when you have a terrible organization, they make terrible moves, and at the end of the day, you will always be looking up. You know, um, a lot of people been letting the Giants slide because the Jets been so terrible in New York that the Giants have just been sliding underneath the radar. When you think about it, they really haven't had like a true winning season since like 2010, 2011. The last time when Eli was there, um, they had the one year when they made the playoffs under Daniel Jones, but that was only because Saquon was having another terrific year, and it only lasts for one round. So this is the results you get when you have terrible people making the hard decisions for your organization. And every day, I thank the Giants organization for being the hot bag of garbage that they are.
Listen, I feel you, and I agree with everything you just said. I need to go back to the Nick Wright scenario.
Hmm.
Nick Wright is a clown. Nick Wright is a front runner. Nick Wright talks out of both sides of his neck. Nick Wright has a platform. That's why Nick Wright says the nonsense and the inane things that he says because he has an audience that is receptive to that,
Hmm.
and it's a shame. And now you want to pander and kowtow without even saying that you was wrong. And that's the thing that bothers me about you clowns that get in front of a camera and get sponsored by Menon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everything you say is supposed to be gospel. I would challenge any of you clowns. And I'm not famous at all by any stretch of the imagination. But Nick Wright, I see you. And nothing that you say can convince me otherwise, that you just out here posturing. See, Bowsey's calm with it. I'm the bad cop. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. So you get on TV here, and like a bunch of you, not just you, Nick Wright, but I'm because Bowski spoke you up, and I really don't feel nothing that you say. Period. I always thought that you was a weirdo. You had to pontificate, right? And a lot of things that you talk about go against the grain.
Hmm.
But then after it goes against the grain, it doesn't get discussed, right? But let you say the Dodgers are going to go to win the World Series, or let you say the Dodgers are going to do this. Then you hear it ad nauseum, right? You talked about the Eagles. I was around. I seen it. How Saquon Barkley wasn't going to do anything, and what Saquon Barkley was? Is there another Saquon Barkley running around here?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like
Like
saying that we
what
do
what
third
what Saquon
team.
Barkley was you watching? That
Yes.
was going to tell you with all the things going on within that story that Saquon Barkley wasn't going to show and prove.
Right.
What gave you insight as the professional that you are, Nick Wright? See, I'm not guessing and I'm not talking in riddles. Nick Wright, what made you think that? In your infinite wisdom, you want TV. You got the millions of eyes on you. What in your right mind made you say or think that Saquon Barkley wasn't going to do his thing in Philly? That's what I would like to know in that scenario. But back to the Eagles. Listen, that's why I said I started off the show with everything that you say is a knife, a wound in the Giants fans organization back. I've seen the Giants, do. I've been through like the Kent Graham era, and that's what this reminded me with Daniel Jones, right? I think that the Giants, when you said about their organization, they need to do something because what they're doing right now is not working and it's proven. You tried to save face. First, you tried to save money, and I get it. That's your organization. That's the Maras.
Hmm.
The Maras is one of those original joints, like the Steelers. They not gonna spend no money. Those original, the Bears. You know what I mean? Those original squads ain't spending no bread. So
Yeah.
now at the end of the day, you come back to the clubhouse with egg on your face, and every week it gets worse. In my heart of hearts, if it plays out like it's supposed to play out, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it's the biggest indignity. It's the dumbest move, and a lot of people are gonna soft shoe it, and I don't know why. Because this is not just this wasn't just a isolated incident. This goes back a couple of years where you could have had this kid locked up
Yep.
and not even worried about it,
Yep.
and probably had you a decent quarterback by now if you would have locked up Saquon.
Exactly.
So for me, I feel like the Giants wanted to save face. They were one of those franchises that said, "Hey, look, we got to go with the status quo."
Yeah.
It wasn't really live like that when Tyrod Taylor was quarterback in the Giants. Let's keep it green. So, in your infinite wisdom, and I'm gonna harp on it because we Tampa Bay Buccaneers went to the MetLife and stomped y'all out. And we're gonna get into that in a minute. Like this, right?
Hmm.
But the Giants fans like this, right? So, how could you just walk around here being one of the illustrious franchises in the National Football League? Going through these motions, and the people that you have in your front office are supposed to be the best of the best of the best. You in the biggest market. You have the most eyes on you. You play in the worst stadium in the league, right?
Words.
Right? Right? You play in the worst stadium in the league. You just made one of the most colossal blunders that I've seen, and I've seen some, but this one was done out of spite.
Hmm.
It wasn't done on a business move. It wasn't none of that. Knock it off, because the business is the what, Browski? Win.
Exactly.
So everything that you say deserves and will get a counter reaction, because how you trying to play it is you trying to save face. And again, what you selling to the Giants fans, the rest of the NFL know better. The Giants fans are saving face. Yeah, you not. I see you. All you Giants fans out there. I ain't scared. All of you. You
And
trying to save face. Oh, well, Saquon, he should have took the. No. Y'all played yourself, simple
Yeah,
and plain. And every week
and
that Saquon does his thing,
yeah,
every backwards jump,
ex-
every 250,
every stiff arm,
every stiff arm,
every touchdown,
every touchdown
every
is,
100+ yard
I'm trying to
run.
tell you right now. So
And
again,
you
at
know
the end
what's
of the day, y'all did it to yourself and
yeah,
to these other organizations with these owners who
yes.
see things a little bit differently than we see it, Browski, if you know what I
Hmm.
mean. You know what I mean? If you, they see things a little differently, and they will continue to shoot themselves in the foot with making these bad decisions. And I'm not even gonna get into the, oh well, he was 6'5" and he's prototypical. That's what you always say.
Always. And you know what's crazy? You know, to these Giants fans that have the nerve to be burning Saquon jersey and doing all that nut stuff.
Right.
Saquon
Right.
said he wanted to stay.
Right.
He wanted to stay.
But
So
see, go
so
ahead,
instead
Browski. Go
of
ahead.
so instead of being angry and salty with Saquon, take it out with the organization. Don't go to those trash
Burn them
games.
season tickets.
Exactly. Don't go to those trash games.
Burn them
Like
season tickets.
like they are force feeding y'all crap.
Right.
And you sitting there and you accepting it. You spending your hard earned money, putting it in their pocket, and they are serving you a pile of crap on a platter, and you just sitting there enjoying it like
And
nothing
you're
is
doing it
coming.
in an outdated, damn near dilapidated stadium.
That
And
kills
you're too cheap to get your own thing.
that kills players every freaking year, and then you sharing it with the Jets.
Right.
And you guys don't even play in New York. Y'all play in New Jersey.
What does
So
that
y'all the
say
New
about the
Jersey
biggest
Giants,
market?
New Jersey Jets.
Well, I mean, again, like, what does that say about the biggest market? And we can definitely get into that. But moving right along, we're gonna talk about the rest of the NFL. The Eagles had a nice victory against the Los
Right.
Angeles Rams. Definitely. Again, we're getting into the part of the season where the truth is starting to be told.
That's right.
Right? Understand that. Like, you have your weeks and your time to say, well, our team has a chance to do this, our team has a chance to do that. Now coming up on week 13, Thanksgiving week. Some things have to be kind of separated, the English from the Dutch, like my man Ghostface said. You know what I mean? The weak from the strong. I think that, when you talk about the NFC right now, I think, the Detroit Lions, everybody talk about them. But here's the thing, and I'm going to make it real quick on this one, Browski. The Lions were 15 minutes, 18 minutes away from the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so I'm not going to believe the Lions until they get there. That's where I'm at with that. The Philadelphia Eagles last year at this point were what, 9-1, Browski?
Yeah,
We
we
all
had
went.
yeah, 9-1.
Okay. So to me, it's basically the same team, just no Jason Kelsey, but you added Saquon Barkley,
Correct.
right? Um, they're starting to talk more about the defense a little bit more. They mentioned Jalen Carter. I'm hearing his name. So now those Georgia picks are starting to percolate and bubble and get their legs up under them. Shout out to Brandon Graham. Respect. You know what I mean? They have a rallying point now because like when Ray Lewis got hurt that year, they went to Super Bowl. The Ravens, they beat the 49ers. The Niners had Colin Kaepernick. Their rallying point was Ray Lewis. So I think that everything is falling in place for me for the Eagles right now. So and everything is pointing in the NFC to me to a Lions and Eagles NFC Championship showdown, which would be what I think the NFL would want to see. Um, and the only thing on that, and I'm just jumping out the window right now, Brasky, is that Aiden Hutchinson be there as far as Detroit, but they got Darius Smith. But that would be a great matchup. But again, they're playing heads and tails above everybody else. That's just my opinion. I look at my Buccaneers. We're not ready. We stomped the Giants out, but what do we do against Baltimore, Kansas City? You know what I mean? Or what do we do? So again, I look at it from a realistic turn, Browski. I'm not gonna we're gonna win the Super Bowl. No, no, we're not ready for that. So again, at the end of the day, I'm going to talk about my Buccaneers from a realistic standpoint. So I'm not going to give you the chance to laugh at me. I already know what it is. I already know what it is. So, but what's your perspective and how you see the rest of the NFC shaking out? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, the rest of the NFC, once once everything, once the fall clears, I totally agree with you. Where it's the last two standing teams will be the Lions and the Eagles. Um, the NFC West race is so close. Um, but none of those teams are ready. The 49ers are injured. Um, the Seahawks and the Rams
Don't
and
forget the Cardinals,
and
since
the
we
Cardinals.
I
No, no,
said the
no, no, no.
Cardinals.
I
What?
didn't put the Cardinals. They to me they still like on even ground.
Right, right.
Like I feel like any one of them can still take the West, but I feel like the Cardinals are the Cardinals' worst enemy.
Hmm.
So I feel
That's
like
true, Bowski. That's true.
they 1 week they'll show up and look amazing, and then the following week it's not the same performance. It's crazy, and I can't just point my finger at Kyler Murray. It's the whole team. It's offense and defensive side, head coach. They all extremely inconsistent. And I mean, matter of fact, I say their whole division is the division of inconsistency because all of them are inconsistent. Like the Seahawks look, pretty decent, and they had a really decisive win over the Cardinals. But then a couple weeks ago, they look like trash too. And like I said, the 49ers are all hurt. I feel like they kind of gave up on the season because everybody was out last week. I felt like they barely had enough guys to play. And when you look at this point in the season, they 4-6 now,
5 and 6.
5-6 now. Like how as close as this division is, you need every game, and they got a tough couple games coming up. Um, the NFC North, is Detroit and Minnesota, but Minnesota is, you know, pretenders. It's clearly Detroit. Um, Chicago just can't catch a break.
Hmm. Right.
That's another organization that you know had done a bunch of terrible decisions, and it seemed like they're cursed. Like they just can't catch a break. Block field goals.
Tell you they should have let Walter Payton get a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
You keep
Telling
saying
you.
that, I know,
Telling
and
you.
it's like they're cursed. It's like they can't get out their own way. And then like the NFC South, NFC South is also very lackluster. We know what Kirk Cousins is gonna give us in the playoffs. We already know he's not gonna show up. You know they're not ready in Atlanta also. So it's a two-team race
Mm-hmm.
in the NFC, and it's crazy watching the Commanders implode.
Hmm.
You know, because all these Commanders fans, all the first half of the season,
They talk.
oh,
They
I
talk. She
told
talking to you,
y'all,
Rev
we
T.
back,
She talking to you.
we back. You know, we taking the
I believe. I
NFC.
believe. I
You
believe.
know, we back. I believe we got it. We got it. We taking it. And look what happened. The Commanders being the Commanders.
Life
So
coming too fast, don't it?
yeah, life come at you super fast, Jalen Daniels.
Hmm.
It's not that easy.
Hmm.
It's not that easy.
I mean, you know, like you said, this is a bad part of the season for them to kind of like fall back. But we said at the beginning of the show that the cream rises to the top. We're gonna see who's real and who ain't. What are we talking about as far as the AFC is concerned? 'Cause I think there's a little bit more competition, at least on paper anyway. Because there's a team in the AFC that's really disappointing me right now, and that's the Houston Texans. I mean, 7-5. I mean, you're not supposed to, at this point. The Houston Texans not supposed to be 7-5.
Mm-mm.
At the bare minimum, you're supposed to be 9-3. At the bare minimum, you're supposed to be, on like all we talked about is, oh, we can't wait to see Houston and what they do with their additions, and Joe Mixon who's done his part. You know what I mean? But I think that they should be a little bit better than 7-5. Nobody really talked about what the Steelers were doing because they were waiting for them to implode. First, thing they were talking about was who was they going to put on who's the field general? Was it going to be Justin or was it going to be Russell? They Russell did his thing for a couple of games, and now the Steelers are looking like the Steelers, but they're still 8-3, right? So their destiny is in their own hands. They're in charge of the AFC North, which is one of the alleged toughest divisions. But really, how tough can you be when you got a Bengals team that's 4-7, Cleveland's
The
3-8?
Browns.
You know what I mean? So you really can't be really all of that tough. So we're gonna defer to the AFC East? No. Buffalo's getting ready to clinch that division next week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So are we gonna do what are we gonna do with the AFC West? We already know it's the same old song. You know what I mean? We could put the digital underground stuff on here. All around the world it's the same
Yeah.
song. Kansas City wins the AFC West. Um, but I'm gonna put some respect on the Chargers' name for the simple fact that I liked, even though in the loss last night, the Baltimore Ravens 30-23, I like what Jim Harbaugh is bringing to uh, the Chargers. Justin Herbert, to me, the last couple of weeks, he's looked the best I've seen in a long time. He's looked like the Justin Herbert that I saw back in the college days when he was doing this thing in Oregon, I think, Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? So um, I like the Chargers. Are they gonna sneak up on anybody? No. What are we doing with the Denver Broncos? Okay, they're 7-5. What are we doing with them? Are they gonna be a factor going down the stretch, or are they just playing out the strings, seeing what they're gonna do to try to survive?
Yeah, I think the Broncos, I think they are exactly where they're supposed to be. I don't think they're going to surprise anybody. Um, I think they can build off of this. I feel like Sean Payton found his quarterback.
Okay.
Um, they need a lot of help on offensive line. They need a running game and probably some help, you know, on the defensive end, like pass rusher and stuff like that. So they still got some growing and some improving to do. I do agree with you with the Chargers. I do like what's going on there. Um, but that's what I expected when Jim went there. That's what I expected an immediate impact, especially on Justin Herbert. He's definitely kicked in and looked like the Justin Herbert that got drafted. Like all the high expectations that we had for him at the start of his career, and we're really starting to see it now. Um, and I think you know with them with the J.K. Dobbins, there. Um, I think they still looking for their number one receiver. Someone that has hands and can run real accurate routes. I still think they're looking for that. Um, the Chiefs, man, the record is fugazi
Mm.
to the product that we see on the field, and to me, that is a lot of Andy Reid. Andy Reid finds a way to win games. You know, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes combination is undefeated. You know, as long as you have those two guys, you can just have Joey Bag of Donuts out there wide receiver.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Out there wide receiver, and you still got a chance. With Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid by knowing how to put these guys at the right place in the right situation, you know. But when you look at their record, it's like these guys are the worst 10-1 team that I ever seen in my life. Like you almost lost to the Panthers. You almost lost to the Panthers. Like it's ridiculous. And you see what happened when it went against the Bills. Like when you make those type of mistakes with the Bills, you get hurt. When you make those type of mistakes with bad teams, you still have a chance to win and you can still win the game like they did
That's
last
right.
Sunday. Like watching that game, it was trash. I was like, this game is terrible. You know, um, and I'm just watching them. I'm like this is a bad team. But when you look at their record, and you're like, oh yeah, the Chiefs is 10-1. They out there rolling.
Right.
But if you sit down and actually really
And watch the
watch the
Chiefs game.
game, you like,
How are they 10 and
how are
1?
they
Right.
10-1? So like that's what I see them at, and with the Bills, it's the Bills versus themselves because I don't see Miami making a move. We see the Jets as a dumpster fire, and the Patriots are still in limbo, still trying to find a footing. Um, the AFC North, you know, I didn't see it, you know, with the Steelers being, atop of that division. I thought that, Baltimore was going to be superior, but little did we know, having Justin Fields start the season off and the defense playing out their mind, keeping them afloat because as we had stated, him only able to score 20 and under points. Like you can't sustain that the whole
Right.
season and expect to make a deep playoff run. So when they changed over to Russ, when he got healthy, everything started clicking. Pickens is getting the ball, the tight end, the running game. You know, it's clicking. You got someone on the field who's experienced and can deliver the ball, and with the addition of Mike Williams, you know, they give him a threat to throw the ball down the field and also stretch the field and also take a little pressure off of Pickens. So it was a great addition. The Baltimore Ravens, their defense is not as good as people perceives.
That's how it seems.
Yeah, I feel like they let the wrong linebacker go
Hmm.
because Roquan it's not looking like Roquan. He's been a little banged up, and even when he's been, in the games, he really hasn't made any of those impactful plays that he was making last year. And
Right.
I kind of feel like he's missing Queen on the other side of him, that was helping taking some of that pressure off of him. But Patrick Green is flourishing in Pittsburgh. He still look like the same guy.
Yep.
And also in Baltimore, with Kyle Hamilton, this guy can't stay healthy. He's in the game, and then he's gone for 3 games, and then he's back, and then he's gone for 2 games. So it's like he can't stay healthy. Secondary, is struggling for that, and thank goodness for Lamar and Derrick Henry because that's what's keeping that team
Yeah.
afloat.
Yep. That's what. Yep. I mean, they're half a game behind the Steelers. A whole bunch of football left to be played.
Yep.
Um, where we at as far as the rest of the AFC teams that look like they might come from out of nowhere? Can we get an Indianapolis Colts to go on a run? Can we get the Denver Broncos to play above water? But they have to go through this little mini gauntlet of teams. But when you have a team like Buffalo that has basically a 4 game lead in their
Mhm.
division, so they're gonna make the playoffs and nobody else.
Yep.
So that leaves 6 spots. Well, 5 spots because you got Kansas City gonna be the number 1 seed,
Mhm.
right? Then you got Buffalo. right? So then there's 5 spots left. So again, it looks like the way it's looking, right? Those 5 spots are claimed already.
I mean, yeah, because if you think about it, after Chiefs, Buffalo, you got Steelers, Ravens, and then
You got the
Chargers.
Chargers,
Oh,
you
and
got the
Texans.
Chargers, the Texans, the
Yeah,
Broncos.
yeah,
Those are the 7 teams right now.
yeah, right there. So
So
again, heavy AFC West.
right,
You know,
right.
heavy
3 teams
AFC
at the
West,
AFC West. Right, right.
heavy
Half the
AFC
playoff field at
North.
the AFC West. Right.
So now you got heavy AFC West, heavy AFC North, one guy from the East and one from the South.
Right. Somebody had to represent, right?
So
I mean
somebody had to
that just
come out the
shows,
South.
right, and that just shows you, and we're headed into week 13, and basically the AFC is kind of wrapped up because we
Yeah,
talked about Denver's got a game and a half lead on Miami.
yeah,
So again, at the end of the day, unless Miami really decides to be the Miami Dolphins that some people wish they were, and should show up, that's what that is. But in the NFC, starting up bottom up, you looking at Atlanta, Seattle, Washington, Green Bay, Minnesota at 3, Eagles at 2, and Detroit at 1.
yeah.
So when you look at that race could be kind of topsy turvy as we get down to the real part of the season, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Hmm.
Tampa Bay, I'm still hoping my team can make a run, but that's all on them. I talked a few weeks about Browski about their schedule being cake. You know what I mean? And the way they play, like, I'm expecting us to beat Carolina. I'm expecting us to beat Dallas. You know what I mean? But who knows? You know? But only those wins will only help ourselves. It's not like we have to play the cream of the NFC until we get to the playoffs. You
True.
know? That's what that is. What are we doing with college football? I'm looking at right now the rankings, the college football playoff rankings.
Hmm.
This was a terrible, terrible, terrible weekend for some teams, man.
Um,
It was really crazy. Go ahead,
I,
Browski.
I, I think I think the committee was extremely tough on Colorado. To 25, 25.
They went on they got blown out though. I mean,
I understand they got blown out, but 25, dude, it was what, 17 to
it's
25?
17, 16, something like that.
Like, that's
Yeah,
wild to me.
that's
You
that's
know?
almost falling off the cliff,
Yeah, I
falling off the
said,
face of the
geez.
earth.
I said, geez, you know. I mean, they still have a chance to win the Big 12. I mean, but that fall was nuts. So now we got, the top five up: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame at five,
And Miami's at
Miami at
6.
six, Georgia at seven. To me, is kind of wild. They a three-loss team.
And it makes no sense. And
They
they,
a
and they spitting
three-loss
they spitting
team,
in the face of
and then
everybody.
the seventh, and then the seventh seed, Tennessee at eight, SMU at nine, Indiana at 10, Boise State at 11, Arizona State was at 16. So then you got Clemson at 12 and Alabama at 13. I don't understand how Georgia is at 7 and
They got
Indiana
the
is at
they got
10.
the connection for the protection.
Like, the Hoosiers at 10, but Georgia at 7 is mind blowing to me. And if the playoffs started today, you got Arizona State, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Indiana, Penn State, SMU, and Notre Dame for the first round. No Clemson, no Alabama.
Oh well, that's life. I'm
Yeah,
just waiting.
so
I would just be waiting to see him win out of Indiana and Penn State,
yeah,
so
that
we
would
could
be.
bust them up and do what we need to do.
But the fact that I just can't believe that Georgia is at seventh
Believe it.
and
Believe it.
Indiana is
They
at
could wait. They
seventh.
could
And
wait to
what's
drop
crazy
Indiana
about
down.
that too is both Penn State and Indiana they lost to the same team. They lost to Ohio State, right? They both had one loss. Georgia had two losses. They lost to a team that's not even in the playoffs. That not even they lost to a team that's not even in the playoffs right now. If the playoffs started today, Alabama is not even in the playoffs, but they lost to them and they are ranked seventh. That's
That's
the committee
that's the
is
that's
on
the
some
that's the
BS.
price of being Georgia.
The
Now it's
committee
up to
on some
somebody to
BS.
knock them off before this thing gets the end of the season, so they can really not have any excuses. I think that the committee it dropped Indiana down to 10. And Navy, I mean, excuse me, Army is off the map. You expected closer games the way that they were, bigging these teams up.
Yeah.
Indiana scored the first touchdown. I watched the Indiana Ohio State game.
Hmm.
Indiana scored the first touchdown, and after that,
It
it
was
was
downhill.
game over, take done. And I think that the way Indiana lost, and them to be 10th is they're lucky. I think the hottest team right now is, for me, when you look at it, you look at a team like Oregon at 11-0. Their 11-0 is a strong 11-0.
It's not.
It's not a
They're,
strong 11-0.
they're 11-0 is like
It's like the
22
Kansas City
21.
Chiefs.
Yeah, they're
They
like
like
the
the,
Chiefs, like
you know
10
what I
and
mean?
1.
They like the Kansas City
Yeah.
Chiefs. Then you talk about Texas, doing what they do, Miami doing what they do. Look at a team like Tennessee. By the time this season is over, this thing is going to look a lot different. I think.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because again, you still got conference championship games to worry about. You know what I mean? And you look at some of them top teams that are in the same conference, they got to see each other.
Yeah.
So in those championship games, so
That Big
again,
Ten, I think, is going to be
you know,
crazy.
is Oregon gonna win the championship or the field? Who you see winning it right now? Oregon or anybody else in that projection in that field?
The field,
Yeah, yeah.
the field.
I don't think Oregon is that much better than any of those teams that you're looking at right now. I don't think so.
I don't think Oregon's better than Ohio State,
Mm, mm.
especially not with the defense that they're playing in Ohio State. Them boys. I mean, we didn't see them shut down Indiana. You seen them shut down Penn State. You know, um, I don't think Oregon's better. I think Oregon and Miami would be a good game. Um, I think it'd be a high scoring game. I don't think they're better than Texas. Also, I don't think they're better than Texas. I think Oregon, that 11-0 is the only reason why they are number one because they still got that O. Um, I just, they're a soft number one seed. They're not a dominant like, oh, I don't want to play them.
Or
But
you know what's gonna happen when you play them type thing. Right,
yeah,
right, right.
yeah. Like to me, I don't want to play Ohio State. I don't want to play Notre Dame. Like if I'm in the first round, I don't want to play Notre Dame. I don't want to play Ohio State. And I think that Penn State Indiana game is a pick'em game. I think any one of
And
them
what about Tennessee and Georgia?
I think Tennessee will beat Georgia. Georgia is no longer that defensive juggernaut anymore. Um, and their offense is a little shaky. You know, they can get really stagnant. They struggle to score. We see them; they struggle to score. So I think Tennessee is better.
So in the second round, you have Boise State and Ohio State,
Yep.
Oregon and Tennessee,
Mhm.
Miami and Penn State, and Texas and Notre Dame.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, that Boise State Ohio State matchup, you would have that kid Jonty against that Ohio State defense. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be a big test for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot of faith in Brian Day, Ryan Day. So I had to go Ohio State.
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see the
Hmm.
next couple of weeks, because
Yeah,
rivalry week is
we got a couple good games coming up
yeah,
too.
rivalry week is this week. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, man. We got what is it? Well, Michigan and Ohio State is always a good game.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina Clemson should be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean Alabama and Auburn should be a good game. That's always a tough game. It's I mean Kansas State Iowa State should be a good game. Texas and Texas A&M should be a good game.
I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, we're looking at these games. Only thing I can say, Browski, is that somebody's gonna get knocked off.
Somebody, yeah,
That's the only that's the only thing I can say. I mean, because a lot of these games, you look at a game, for example, Tennessee. They're at Vanderbilt.
yeah.
Vanderbilt got nothing to lose. Vanderbilt's not a bad team. They're 6-5.
And you
So,
know who else? You know
go
who
ahead,
else
go ahead.
got a tough matchup? That Georgia Tech game.
Yeah,
I can see
yeah,
Georgia Tech going there and beating
yep,
Georgia,
yep.
and that's when you know Georgia's out of here.
And Georgia Tech beat Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, again, and this is not the Georgia team that we've been watching the last couple of years. So I
hell
like that one,
no.
Browski. Georgia
They
Tech
ain't
and
pulling
Georgia.
up
I
with it.
like that one. I like that. What about Hey, listen. If I'm Arizona State and you want to make a run and you want to show and prove, you better beat Arizona on the road.
Oh, you gotta trash them. If you Arizona
Yeah.
State, you gotta trash Arizona at home. You gotta trash them at their home stadium. Like it can't be no 7 or 10 point
Last
field
second
field
field
goal.
goal.
Yeah,
Right.
you gotta beat them by like 20. Like you gotta trash them. Yeah,
Yeah, so we in the building down in Sports Talk, Riverside FM. We in the house. I am left handed. That is Yada Bear in the house.
and
Um, some tragic news. Some
what?
tragic news.
What?
South Carolina lost.
Uh,
Women's basketball. Some tragic news. It was bound to happen,
it had
but
to
in the
have.
fashion that
What do
it
you
the
say?
fashion that it did wasn't really expected.
It got blown
Browski,
out.
you want to talk about it? They went out to Pauley Pavilion, played UCLA, and it didn't turn out so well. Talk about it a little bit, Browski.
Listen, salute to UCLA. Okay, UCLA came out there and they dominated from the opening tip to that last buzzer. Um, they totally dominated the paint. This South Carolina team is small. They are relying on the 3 point shot and dribble penetration, to the rack. And against UCLA, they had that shut down. It was some issue with Malaysia Fuwali. I didn't know what was going on, with her. How she had a very off game. Um, Chloe Kitts was like non-existent. Tahina Pow Pow, she tried to put the team on her back. It just, it wasn't a good look at all, And guess what? You can't win them all. You know, the competition in women's college basketball is ridiculous. The level of competition, the 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 level that these women are playing at right now is out of their mind, and we seeing it each game. I mean, USC lost,
Yeah.
South Carolina just lost. So South Carolina they
UConn
can't
done
win.
lost twice in a row.
Yeah, So that just shows how tough the competition is. The
The men.
talent is spread out across the world. I mean,
Yeah.
across all.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about the South Carolina thing. Dawn Staley's had it good.
Yeah,
The Leah Bostons of the world and the Asia Wilsons of the
AJ
world. And
Wilson.
listen, I think now she has to coach.
Yes,
Watching South Carolina now, it's like back to where she has to figure out who's hot, and then she has to go with the hot hand at the moment. Depending, no,
hmm
no matter who it is, there's no consistency among getting playing time or who's gonna really really stand out and be that one that's gonna lead this team. And I think she's still trying to find that. And I think that reality is coming in. And no disrespect to what Dawn Staley has done in South Carolina, because they deserve every accolade that they've gotten. But now, like you said, Kimmy, the playing field has been leveled. It's been
yeah.
evened out, spread around, spread amongst the the other teams in the nation, that play college women's college basketball, and South Carolina is not going to be that one, and everybody else is right behind them. You
Um,
talk about USC,
yeah.
Juju Watkins. You know what I mean? We were just celebrating her a couple of weeks ago as being the
hmm
fastest to get 1,000 points.
Yeah.
And again, Browski, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this because I feel like we know that none of these women's teams or men's teams or whatever are gonna finish undefeated. We know that. It's just that when in the season that you lose, how you lose, and how you come back from that loss. You know what I mean? So that's sort of determine where you at. Because again, we know that by the end time we get to March, February, March, we're still gonna be looking at the conference tournaments are gonna be popping off, and
Yeah.
whoever's hot at the moment, Browski, whoever's
Yeah.
whatever team is gelled by that point, because again we got the whole month of December to go, January, and then we'll start looking at February and stuff as far as conference tournaments and stuff. So again, we
Yeah.
got a
We're
lot
only
of
5 games
basketball,
in.
huh?
I said, yeah, we're only five
Yeah, yeah,
games
yeah, yeah,
in.
yeah. There's a lot of basketball to be played,
Yeah.
and I think that again, these teams are gonna get to know each other. They're gonna gel. Is Dawn Staley and them gonna have they're gonna I think they're gonna lose about 3 games this year.
I can see that. I can see
You know what I
that.
mean?
I mean, listen, like I said, salute to UCLA because
Yeah,
we
salute to them.
we
Not
we
taking nothing away from them.
seen
Salute. Absolutely.
we seen how good they was last year. With Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice, and then you got another year. You got more confidence. You got more skill. You gel together more as a team. And Lauren Betts, like I said, she was just dominating in the paint. And Kiki Rice is just gotten better. So me seeing them lose to UCLA, was I surprised? Yeah, I didn't expect them to lose. Like if it
Not
was a
like
loss,
that,
I
right?
didn't think they was gonna lose by like double digits. I
Right.
thought it maybe be a really close game. Like it wasn't even competitive. Um, they jumped on them early and just stayed on them. But I mean, like I said, it's early. We still got a lot of good games going on. We're gonna have some of those invitational games. We got some of the championship games happening tomorrow, and we got teams like LSU. This
Iowa, Texas,
and Oklahoma, Duke.
Oklahoma, Kansas State, Maryland. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of teams in the mix.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. It just
Absolutely a lot of teams
it's
in
a
the
long
mix.
season. It's a long
Yeah.
season, and I definitely expect that top four, top five to switch up. Each week. I feel like they're gonna be a different number one team every couple of weeks, just like in the men's.
No doubt. And I mean that we're gonna be following it, and it's just this early in the season to find that there's some cracks in some teams' armor already. That's very interesting, and it bodes interesting to see how the remainder of the season will be played out. On the men's side, we talked about Connecticut a little earlier.
They lost.
They're coming back to earth. You know what I mean? They're coming back to earth quickly. We talk about the men's basketball team, two
Yeah.
losses in a row,
Yep.
back to back. Again, it's early in the season, get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about UConn, they're two-time defending national champion.
Standard.
Yeah, So what do you do with that? Again, I think it's the same thing that we talked about on the ladies' side. It's early. The talent is all over the place. You know what I mean? You're not going to come in here and stomp these teams out. Because again, these teams are hyped up for you because they didn't get to where you are. But you know what?
Hmm.
They're the man where they are now. So when you
Yeah.
come see them and they come see you, it's gonna be on and popping. So Connecticut's gonna get that all year long. So again, it's early. We just wanted to mention, some things going on on the college basketball side. We're gonna definitely get into it. Um, Talk some NBA. The NBA Cup, Yada Bear's favorite sports tournament. What do you where you at with the Atlanta Hawks finding Trey Young $100,000 for essentially this load management in the Cup game?
Find everybody who's low managing. You know, I just feel like the NBA is just trying to find ways to take the money back that they're giving these players these big contracts for them to
Hold that thought.
sign.
Hold your thought. I'm about to let you do your thing because I'm going to go in on the NBA as soon as you finish.
Yeah, I'm just the NBA is the softest of the four major leagues that we have here, the four major professional leagues. They sign these players to these big time contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then you fine them for every little thing. This lower management fine is kind of crazy where the whole league is low managing. Every superstar that have any type of injury history or just because are low managing. So I feel like Adam Silver is just, they're just going crazy with these fines. Like, what's going to be the next fine? And with them doing this, it's like taking away from the game. Like this NBA is, can if I be honest, it's trash. You know, um, it's so bad that sometimes I find myself struggling to watch a game. And then when I'm looking like for games to watch, I'm like, I'll just catch the highlights, you know, because I can't sit through this product that they're forced feeding me. It's horrible. And NBA season used to be hype and charged. You ready to see these matchups, ready to watch these games. But now it's like you can't even play the game. You can't do anything on the court. Can't do anything. You can't really say anything. Um, I feel like it's over like sensitive. It's just overly new generation. It's just how like these new generations are out here. It's reflecting how this NBA league is now. Everybody get a participation trophy. Like this NBA Cup is trash. It's all about money, and the greediness to get more and more money is just wearing down the product, and it's just making the NBA trash. And I feel like it's reflected on a TV rating because I don't really hear people talking about the NBA like that anymore. We out on the street, mad yeah, mad people, will have conversations about the game or about certain players and like that. You don't even hear that anymore. Nobody's talking about the NBA. If we're talking about the NBA, it's
You're
something
stealing all
like
my
this.
thunder, but go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Rock out.
When we talking about the NBA, look at what we talking about. We talking about fines, suspensions,
That's right.
you know, things that's in the media. We're not talking about the game, what happened on the court. We talking about things that happen off the court. So I'm kind of falling back on the NBA. I just can't, you know. I will start paying attention after the All Star break because this NBA Cup is trash. The way that they have the schedule set up at the beginning of the season is trash, and it's because of this stupid NBA Cup. So I'll let all you guys know that I'm not going to be tuned into the NBA like that until after the All Star break, because to me, that's when the season starts for real. Go ahead, my man.
Browski just got through cooking. It's gonna be hard to follow that. She mentioned everything that I wanted to talk about. But here's what I'm gonna do. Adam Silver has taken the NBA back to the Stone Ages. Browski just mentioned that nobody even talks about the NBA. When you do hear people conversate about the NBA, it's in a negative light.
Hmm.
They took the All Star game, which was one of the biggest, most hyped things of the NBA season that we look forward to, no matter where it was played at. We should have known when they started playing in those corny NBA All Star uniforms instead of playing in their team uniforms. We should have seen it coming back then.
Yeah.
Let me cook, Browski.
Hmm.
We should have seen it coming back then. The emphasis on fan engagement and being fan friendly and stuff like that. Things happen. We understand that. But it's in the game. It's not part of the game, but it's in the game. You would let a fan who paid their money, their little child, curse out Russell Westbrook, right? Because that's what they pay for. They pay for their seats. So you so much you want to cater to the fan part itself, cater to the fan experience. What happened to the fans who made you what in the first place? David Stern, no matter how much we didn't really rock with him, he did what he had to do for the league. And we remember David Stern. When we talk about David Stern, oh yeah, this happened, that happened, whatever. When we talk about Adam Silver, we know the corporations are in your pocket. We know that. You turned the All-Star game into a shell of what it used to be. Now you don't even know what to do with the All-Star game. You had people jumping over cars. You had people dancing at halftime. Had people dancing to the player introductions. Like, what the hell has that got to do with the game on the court? And the crowning moment of this crock of steaming, you know what, was when the All-Star game was 211, right? 211 points by the winning team in the All-Star game. Like, I, the NBA is going back to the dark ages. When I mean the dark age, you have to be a certain age to know what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna take you back for a hot second, right? When the Lakers played the Sixers in 1980 in the NBA Finals, when the Lakers won that game that night at the Spectrum, nobody saw that. And if you say you saw it live, you either was there or you're lying. Period. And the reason why I say that is because the NBA was on tape delay. So don't play with me. So those are the dark ages. We were clamoring to find out who won the title and this and that and the third. But now you fast forward to 2025, the interest is gone. We're not even talking about the kids just, out here dribbling just to be dribbling no more. There's no strategy. There's no coaching. The players are running the league. The league is running his mouth. The coaches is just there to get paid. When you can snatch up some dude who was talking crazy to Stephen A. Smith for about 6 months and give him an NBA head coaching job, don't beat me in the head with Disney. I'm not interested. You don't sell the league to anybody but people in suits. Anybody who has to get a passport. Let me cook. You're not interested in us, who would just like really, really talk passionate about their particular favorite teams, be it the Sixers, be it the Knicks, be it the Lakers, be it whatever. Now, we talk about them in regular tones. We don't get excited. We don't get passionate because we don't know. You know why we don't know? Adam Silver, and I'm going to look at the camera when I say this, Browski, down in Sports Talk in the building. You know why we don't know, Adam Silver? Because we don't care. The NBA Cup is a figment of your imagination that you force down our throats because you believe in your infinite wisdom that we would accept this product as a deviation from what's going on in the regular season. Why do we need a deviation? Why? What made you think that you was going to have a tournament within the regular season? What is it, soccer? What are we doing? But Adam Silver, you the man. That's your baby. That the NBA is your baby. But you know what? You're running it into the ground. But you won't listen to a common person like myself, Yada Bear, Win Walker. You'd rather listen to somebody who's got a pencil in their pocket, carrying around a 3-ring binder, calling himself the head of an analytic department. We understand and we get that you're selling the league to the international level. We get it. We get it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. But in your infinite wisdom to try to push the game forward, you're forgetting about what got you here in the first place. And that's just how I see it, man. And Adam Silver, I think that if you just kept it simple, stupid, things would be a lot better. You would have more conversations in the positive light and the aspect about the NBA. And the ones that are doing it now, you still have pockets of people that are really, really into the NBA. It's out of desperation. Don't play with me. It's not just out of passion for your team. You don't care who wins. Because at the end of the day, let me cook. At the end of the day, the NBA is trying to be an all year round product in the first place. So again, at the end of the day, it's not about whether you want to keep up. It's whether you're going to still pay for those games every night. You're still going to fill those arenas. They don't care about you. Can somebody explain to me that the new concept for the NBA All-Star game? Can somebody please explain that to me? Because I don't get it. Why can't they just have a game where everybody wears their team jerseys and play 48 minutes and see what happens? That's it. Like, for me, it's Browski. I know some people say, well, that's, it used to be about, well, the audience has changed and we got to do this and that. Knock it off. Because we tried that. You tried it. To me, all that, those crazy jerseys was beside the marketing, that was like the word fleek. While it was hot, you mess with it, it was hot. But it started to lose intensity. Started to lose. And now here we are. I'm sorry, Browski. I just had to say that because I just think that the NBA is garbage, yo. It is.
Everything you said is true, and it's like when we think of the All Star game.
Yeah.
The All Star game was the ultimate pickup game.
Right. Come
Where
on,
you
Kimmy. Come on,
had
let's go. Mm-hmm.
your stars start and playing together. It's like yo,
Your
yeah, I want
dream
to
matchups,
see,
yeah.
yeah, I want to see um Mike and Isaiah. on the floor together. Like, whoa, that's some
Yeah,
crazy
right.
magic.
That's
Like,
right.
where everybody's
That's
doing
right.
that together.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see Magic and Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what we wanted to see. And those guys, they played basketball on both ends of the court.
Let's
On
go,
Magic
Browski.
together, it's like you're not gonna score on me, Magic. You know,
Period. That's it.
you're not scoring on me. And Magic's like, you're not scoring on me. I'm a back you down and lay you up. But now it's like everybody's shooting from half court. Everybody wanna run and gun and dunk. Throw self alley hoops to
Right,
themselves to
Browski. Right.
themselves on it. Like when Kobe did it in the All Star game, he did it while playing.
It was in the game. It
It
was in
was
the flow
in
of the
the
game.
game,
Right, right, right. Let's go, Kimmy.
you know.
It was in the flow of the game.
Yeah, and now this is it's trash,
Right.
and like you said, we people who still like watching it, they're watching it because they love basketball. They don't love the NBA. They love basketball, and we just getting watered down version of professional basketball,
And it's
and I feel
sad.
like it's going to keep getting worse.
It's sad. They try
Yeah.
to, they try to age us out of the situation, but all we want to see is some competitive basketball. You know what I mean?
That's
Why
it.
do we always have to go back to AI? You know what I mean? Why do we always have
Or
to go back to, like
Vince
Patrick Ewing or
Carter.
Dominique Wilkins? Or why do we
Yeah.
got to go back to Grant Hill? Why do we got to go back to that? These superstars are um, mainly, manufactured. You know what I mean? They have no story that they can go back to. They just was, on these traveling teams and they was the man and whoop de woo, and now they got a sneaker and here we go. But I just feel like the game has kind of got away from what it was intended to be. Just go out there, you dribble. You out there, you play 21. You know what I mean? You play, just pick up games everywhere. There's a court somewhere. There's a basket somewhere, be it a milk
Hmm.
crate, bang, hammer to a telephone pole, or whatever. There's some kids out there playing, and we don't see that anymore. Um, and I'm not gonna blame the video games or just not wanting to be outside. Of course, you don't have to say anything. You see dozens and hundreds and thousands of empty basketball courts, and that just speaks to the scarcity of kids who are even interested in trying to develop their game.
Hmm.
Remember, would you be outside by yourself, practicing your dribble?
Dribble,
You know what I
dribble.
mean? You'd be outside by yourself. You'd be imagining, you bringing the ball up court, in the NBA or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Just trying to, get yourself together so when you get right out there on the basketball court, you know what you're doing. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you was working on your game a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't have the Nerf set up in their room no more. Their little balled up socks and shooting at the basket.
Hmm.
They don't care about that. You
Nah.
know what I mean? So I just think that that it's a trickle down effect, Browski. You know what I mean? Look at the product that the NBA is giving us, man. Look at the product that they're giving us, and again, they would tell you that it's the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
that that's some nonsense. We in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, myself and Broski in the house, making it do what it do. We about to get down on it. 'Cause I know Broski got some things that she want to talk about. I definitely got some things I want to talk about when they get down on it. Where you at, Broski? Get down on it.
Um. Well, first I want to get down on the New York Jets. They fired Joe Douglas. Which they should have been fired him. Um. It's just it's a dumpster fire there. Again, another New York team is a dumpster fire. Now they're talking about, oh, we may not bring Aaron Rodgers back next season. If you don't bring him back next season, everything you have done for the past 2 years has been for nothing. You fired your head coach for no reason, 'cause, like he wasn't.
Sound like the Giants to me.
sound like it.
Yeah, go
But
ahead, Browski.
they fired him for no reason. Like he's the problem. They fired him. The defense got worse. They bring in Devontae Adams, thinking, oh, all right, well now we got Devontae Adams, and he gonna fit right in, with Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, and they're worse. They are terrible, terrible, terrible organization. Um, Also, I want to get down on how is Daniel Jones such a hot commodity? Like, how can this guy want to dictate what team he wants to
The
go
nerve.
to? Like he was doing something in New York.
Right, right, right,
I'm,
right, right,
I'm looking
right.
at him like, bro, you're gonna be nothing but a
The
career
the
backup now.
caucasity of it.
Yeah, like you are a career backup now. So whatever team you're going to, it's going to be as a backup. Because only want to go to a contender. You didn't come from a contender.
Right, right,
So
right,
why would you
right.
be able to go to a contender? It's like you're going to do something. So I'm looking at him like, all right, well, you're going to go into a new team as a backup. I just, I just thought that was extremely weird and hilarious how when they was talking about this guy, like he, is a superstar, is a star, where the organization that you were just at that gave you that big contract just let you walk out the door like you was nothing.
Right.
But that's what I'm getting down on, like the terrible New York professional football teams that are trash.
Um, I want to get down on the other end of that professional football malaise in New York. Um, you got to pick and choose your spots. Um, Everybody can say, well, it's because of this, it's because of that. Um, I beg to differ because I was around before when the Jets and the Giants were, you know, dumpster fires, right? But this is worse because, like, when we first came on and we first started doing this, we knew it was about the money. We know, right? But how it plays out is how you play with your money and how you manipulate your money and how keep your money keeps you in the championship room. And sometimes the money will keep you in the bum status. You got so much money, you think that they'll speak for you. In the Giants' case,
Hmm.
right? You got to have the quarterback. You got to have the prototype, the dude that everybody feels like who's going to be the 6'5", the whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who was not 40% of your offense, who was not giving his all out here, trying to make it happen, who wanted to stay. And again, yeah, we gonna harp on it. I know I am because this is easy. This is easy money right here. You can't defend yourself. And as a Giants person who talks about their team and stands up for the team and defend, how can you defend this? And all you nonsense weirdos who was blaming burning the Saquon Barkley jerseys, I hope you had fun
Wasting your
because
money.
the only thing that you was doing is you was mad at yourself. You couldn't burn the Mara's house down. You couldn't burn down MetLife.
Please
So you
did.
burnt the next closest thing, which was the Saquon Barkley jersey. And to quote that great philosopher LL Cool J, the joke's on you, Jack. Like, I mean, again, a business move is a business move is a business move. If it's spontaneous, if your back is up against the wall, I get it, Browski. It's all in the game. I get it. But that you can't even use that excuse in this instance because you had 2 seasons
To get it together.
and this kid better himself.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you let him walk, and we all see it. We don't have to hide behind parameters, anything that hold us back from saying what we want to say. We seen the play coming a year and a half ago. We seen the play coming. So you did what was best for the interest of the franchise, which was give Daniel Jones this money and let Saquon Barkley walk. and now your franchise is going to be behind the proverbial and the literal 8 ball for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's real talk. And again, the reason why I'm getting down on it so much is because you're supposed to be an example of how to run a successful franchise.
Mhm.
And it comes down to the analytics versus the heart. And I think that's what it comes down to. And you made a choice of the analytics by choosing Daniel Jones over the heart, which was Saquon Barkley.
Mhm.
And now, you want to try to justify it and explain it off, and the fans, oh, it's Saquon's fault. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's your fault for still being a Giants fan. How about that? Because again, if you want to talk about the Buccaneers, I'm a Bucks dude. They go, Bo Jackson turned us down. We wanted him. Don't play with me. But that's another story. You let Saquon Barkley walk out the door.
Mhm.
He ain't have to go far. But right down 95. Went home. That's another thing. You let the kid go home.
Basically.
So he's good bread.
Mhm.
Regardless, you set him up. You gave him the ultimate alley oop. And now you want to try to turn around and blame, this, that, and that. No, look in the mirror. I bet you won't let it happen again. Oh, no, I won't say that.
No, they will.
I won't say that because, look at what we talk about here. We
Exactly.
talk about two moribund, lackadaisical, non thinking. And we can say that now because look at the example you said.
Yep.
You had us talking about Aaron Rodgers for 2+ years about his sabbaticals, his tattoos, his potential game show hosting spots. Every move that Aaron Rodgers made, you had us in on it. Like we was there. So for y'all in New York, yeah, what? Your customer service leaves a lot to be desired. That's all I'm gonna say. And we're gonna leave it at that. I'm left-handed, Jada Bear, aka Browski over there, all of that. Browski's gonna be missing in action next week. She's got a situation that she got to deal with.
Yeah.
She'll be back. What is it? December 10th, right?
Yes.
Okay, Browski will be back December 10th. And until then, y'all hold it down. You already know what it is. Shout out to y'all out there in the group on Facebook, down in Sports Talk group. We appreciate y'all to the fullest.
Mhm.
And that's basically it. Anything last words, Browski, before we get out of here?
Um. Enjoy your holiday.
Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
know,
Oh, the
enjoy
Thanksgiving
Turkey
games.
Day and
That's right. Go ahead.
enjoy
Enjoy
those
your holiday. Go
games.
ahead.
So make sure that y'all put your picks in
Yes,
on Wednesday,
that's
and
right.
don't wait till Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Because you might miss out.
You might miss out, man. So get them in tomorrow at the latest, man.
Mhm.
And I tell. And listen, this is what I wanted to say too. So you blame it on Browski, and she the one that reminded me. Yo, I'm not looking all over the place for y'all picks, man. I'm not doing it. Like again, I try to put a post up. You know what I mean? Or I see y'all when y'all put your posts up. I see you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's all good. But some people who shall remain nameless, just be all over the place with it. And again, it's all good. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all, man, for even participating and rocking out with us. But come on, son. You know what I mean? I gotta take time out, and then I gotta look. Then I gotta. So Thursday the game started 12. Have your picks in because I want to enjoy some cranberry sauce and stuffing and
Right.
all that good stuff too. You know what I mean? Have to worry about whether SS SS got his picks in on time. I'm just messing with you, Playboy. Listen, we out of here, man. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Be around your family, your loved ones, and all that. Try to keep the political talk at a minimum. Keep the sports talk at a maximum.
Always.
You know what I mean? Talk about your family. You know what I mean? Get to know each other again. and all that good stuff. And the new generation, the fresh baby breaths, it's your turn to cook.
Oh God, no.
That should be very interesting. That should be very interesting. I seen some things in the supermarket that was bugging me out, and it is what it is. Um, Good luck. Everybody do their thing. Enjoy.
This is not the
Enjoy
time
your meals.
to experiment. It's not the time to
Yes, that
experiment.
is sports talk. We out of here, yo. We'll see y'all next week, man. All right. Enjoy your holiday. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, Browski. All right. Don't go nowhere.
All right.
Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah.